Hey guys, welcome back to Tickle Your Taste Buds. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make one of my favorite recipes, chocolate cake. The most moist, simple, easiest chocolate cake to make. Are you ready? Let's start baking. First off, we are going to add 1 cup of sugar, to that half a cup of oil, and give that a good stir. Once that's done, half a cup of maas or yogurt if you don't have, and then half a cup of milk, and you give that another good mix. Two teaspoons of vanilla essence, and mix away. In a separate dish, add 1 3/4 cups of flour, then 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking soda. This gives the cake a nice good rise. We also added a teaspoon of salt and 3/4 cups of cocoa. Then we give this all a nice stir. In a separate bowl, add 2 tablespoons of coffee and 3/4 cups of water. Give that a stir. This gives the cake its rich dark color. We are now sifting in the dry ingredients into the wet and giving that a good mix. Also alternate between the coffee mixture and the dry ingredients and slowly mix until all the flour has been dissolved and mixed in smoothly. I have used egg before in this cake and it makes it a bit too fluffy, so I'm not adding any eggs here, but instead replacing it with the yogurt and maas to give it that moistness. Once it's nice and smooth, you can pour it into your baking dish, which has been lined up with a baking sheet. Once you've poured everything into the baking dish, give it a slight tap so all the bubbles rise to the top. Put it into the oven and bake for 180 degrees for 35 minutes. And while that's in the oven, we can start preparing our filling and topping. In a separate pot, add it on the stove on low heat and put in 40 ml of fresh cream, and to that 80 grams of dark chocolate. Take it off the stove if it gets a bit too hot and give it a good mix until all the chocolate has dissolved. Once it's nicely dissolved, put it into the fridge and keep it cool until the cake is ready to be decorated. In a separate dish, you can add the remainder of the 250 ml of fresh cream and give that a good whip. "35 minutes later, straight out from the oven, we have our cake. Leave it to cool for a bit, and once it's nicely cooled, you can remove the baking dish and the baking sheet. You can now decorate this however you like. I'm going to slice this in half so I can add the ganache in the center and the fresh cream on top. Once I've cut it open, I take the chocolate ganache and I spread it over the center of the cake. If you want a little bit extra moistness, you can add it on both sides. Then we add in the fresh cream around the cake and all over the top until it's nicely smoothed out. You can now decorate the cake however you prefer. I am using some cherries with a Roman cream biscuit which I've grated on top. You can also use chocolate slabs of plain chocolate or Milo chocolates or whatever flavor you prefer. And for the final result, as you can see, we have ourselves a lovely chocolate cake. As we cut into this, you can see the dark moistness in the cake. You have yourself a rich, moist, dark chocolate cake ready to be eaten. Enjoy!